Welcome to handling text input and forms. After watching this video, you will be able to identify the need for text input and forms in React Native apps, identify the input components, describe the working of input in React Native, list other input options. Text input and forms are the primary means for users to interact with and provide data to the application. They can be used in various ways as follows. Capturing user information, text input and forms allow users to enter and submit information, such as login credentials, personal details, or feedback. Search functionality, they enable users to search for content, products, or other items within the app. Customizing user experience, users can set preferences, select options, and personalize their experience within the app. Data submission. Text input and forms are also used for surveys, ordering products, or booking services. Content creation. You can use them for content creation on social media platforms or note-taking apps. Payment processing. Forms are also used in processing payments and collecting billing and shipping information in e-commerce apps. Regulatory compliance. Many apps require forms to comply with regulations, such as collecting consent for data usage or legal purposes like age verification. The fundamental component used for input in React Native apps is text input, which can exist by itself or as part of a form. When it comes to forms, you need to manage the form state, handle form validation, display validation messages when necessary, and submit the form data. To include a text input in the view with a style input, you can use the code as shown. The input style is set in the code, as shown in the example. Let's see an example of how this text input style allows the user to input a value. To capture and act on this value, you need to handle the input event and store the value in a state. The state is dealt with in React Native with a variable name and a setter, which help retain the value. In the code sample, you define two states, one for the name and the other for greeting, with their respective setters. Then, you define handle name change and reset the name and the greeting when the name is changed. When the onChange text event happens, the handle name change is called, which sets the variable name to the value contained in the text input. In this code example, the name value is, in turn, used to display a greeting. For example, when the name John Smith is entered in the user interface UI, it displays Hello John Smith as it is entered. If you want to trigger the event only when the user completes entering the value, you can use the onSubmit editing event as shown in the code. The code, when implemented, shows the output as shown in the example. When more than one such text input needs to be captured, we can use a dictionary object and present that as a form. In this case, there will be a handler for each text input, namely name, email, and password. For the text input email, you can set an additional attribute keyboard type equal email address, which aids in data validation and ensures only a valid email is entered. Similarly, for the password text input, you can set an additional attribute secure text entry, which ensures the password is masked on the screen. Let's look at a complete example of multiple text inputs. You define placeholders for the name, email, and password. The email with an additional attribute, keyboard type equals email address, aids in data validation to ensure only a valid email is entered. The password with the attribute secure text entry ensures the password is hidden on the screen. The output screen will display as shown. There are also third-party libraries available to handle forms, such as Formic. The other forms of input libraries available in React Native include Select, Switch, and Slider, but they are not limited to these. Select is used for drop-down selections, like the Select box in web forms. The switch is a toggle switch that is often used for Boolean input, such as on or off. The slider is a component for selecting a value from a range, like a volume control. In this video, you learned that text input and forms are the primary means for users to interact with and provide data to the application. The fundamental component that is used for input in the React Native app is TextInput, which can exist by itself or as a part of a form. In Forms, you need to manage the form state, handle form validation, display validation messages when necessary, and submit the form data. When more than one such text input needs to be captured, we can use a dictionary object and present that as a form. Other input options are formic, select, switch, and slider.